The North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics has been housed in Durham since it first opened its doors in 1980 in the old Watts Hospital next to Duke University's East Campus. Today, we're going to talk about the school and its new expansion west, and joining us to do that, we have the Chancellor of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Todd Roberts. Dr. Roberts, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And with Todd, we have Dr. Melissa Thibault. Dr. Thibault is the Vice Chancellor for Distance Education and Extended Programs at the school. So thanks so much for being here. Now, folks who watch our show regularly already know that I'm not an impartial observer when it comes to the school in science and math. My daughter is a senior there, so which also means I know a little bit about the school too. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on was not just about the expansion. Was we've had a wonderful experience at your school, but I want more parents and more teachers and more students to know about it. So tell us about the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. When someone asks you, what do you do? What is its mission? What's it all about?
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing us to be on the show and share a little more about the school. And I'll say Cecilia has been a joy to have for the past 2 years. So our school, as you mentioned, opened in 1980, and we were the first school of our kind in the U.S., which is a publicly funded residential school focused on STEM. And so 38 years in operation now, we've been able to serve over 10,000 students from across North Carolina, and students come to us from, we have students from 94 different counties.
Yeah, I think we have a map we're going to pull up on the screen that shows where everybody's coming from.
Yeah, and so it's, so we've been fortunate over these 38 years to serve talented students from all across the state, and our school, was really established to help North Carolina move its economy from agricultural and textile and to grow our own talent in the state, and the state makes this opportunity available to families at no cost, and so it really does serve students from all over North Carolina who are talented and motivated and want to have this unique opportunity.
Now, and I mentioned that it's housed at the old Watts Hospital. It's funny, I run into people every once in a while I was born there, I'm like, well, I've been in some of the rooms that were probably the delivery rooms, but Melissa, this is one thing I like to let people know, and I know you do, is it's not just the building, that you actually have a pretty big reach from online and distance education.
Absolutely. We're serving students every day seated in classrooms across the state. There's students that take our online courses as well as the video conference courses that are broadcast daily. And those students are engaged in the same level of scholarship as the students in the residential program without leaving their home communities. So for some schools and for some communities and for some families, that's the right approach for those students.
So when a student applies to be part of the school, there actually is an option to be residential, which again, let's define that because again, some parents may not, this is 11th and 12th grade. And so the students who are residential actually come and live, in dorms on campus in Durham for basically their final 2 years in high school. But but you actually apply to do one or the other, right?
Correct. And we have students who, for whom, coming to campus a couple times a semester, and in the summer, that's going to meet their need, and that's what they want to be doing because maybe they are very involved in their home community or have obligations with their families at home. So they're able to get the opportunity to have school science and math courses on their transcript when they apply to college. That definitely differentiates them.
Right. Dr. Roberts, if we've got teachers that watch this show, we have parents who have kids, and maybe they're in elementary school, middle school, what is the ideal CSSM student? I mean, what should someone, or is there one? I mean, what should people be looking for? A teacher that wants to recommend that their student should think about this as an option.
I think the great thing is the diversity of students on campus, whether that's geographic or learning styles and abilities. I mean, one of the things is important. They need to be motivated. It's a rigorous academic experience, and so they have to be also ready to leave home. As Melissa said, they're going to be away from home really 2 years earlier than they might have anticipated, and so students who are motivated, who have a demonstrated interest in STEM, and that are willing to be away from home for these 2 years and ready to live in that type of residential environment. But a lot of students, whether they or their parents think they're ready for that, we find that almost all of the students that start with us finish with us.
Right, and I'm assuming that it's a great transition for college. I mean, if you're already sort of used to living away from home, it's probably good for students.
Absolutely, and the students that are engaged in the distance education courses, they're going to encounter online learning as well as everything, straight up to telepresence when they're in the workplace. So communicating, effectively collaborating at a distance, these are really important skills for students to master, and it's great if they can do that before they even go to college.
Now, Dr. Rose, let's talk about the expansion. This is brand new. School's been around since 1980, but you're opening a new campus in Morganton, in the western part of the state. Sort of where did that sort of why expand now? Sort of where did this all come about?
Well, we were fortunate that in the recent Connect NC bond issue, the state provided $58 million for us to open a second campus in Morganton, North Carolina, which is about 2.5 hours west, and really to help meet the demand. For example, this year we'll have over 1,300 students applying for roughly 340 spaces, and that's been true for many years. So there's a lot of talented students who want the opportunity to be a part of the residential program that don't get that opportunity, and so having a second campus in Morganton will allow us to meet that demand, and we're on track, almost done with the design of the campus, and it's scheduled to open in 2021 with the first class of 150 juniors, and then the second year we'll add another 150 and be 300 students in the residential program when it's fully enrolled, and also will allow us to expand our distance education and summer programming as well.
So 2021, so when would students and parents be looking to apply? If they want to select, I guess it would be similar to all you would select which campus you want to be at.
That's right. The application would open for this this year would be October of 2020, and students would, like they do now as they apply, have the option to choose the Durham residential program, the Morganton program, or the online program. And sometimes students will say, "I'm interested in all three," and I would apply to all three and then list my preferences in order.
Right. But what do you do as far as the benefits? Is it going to be, is the new campus going to be similar offerings, something completely different?
I think the opportunities for the entire school to grow as an institution with the relevance of today's economy, with big data and energy and sustainability and agri-science, there's a lot of industry in that region that we can build on the economic foundations of that region in order to try to create a program that really leverages where it sits.
Right.
And I think that's going to be beneficial not just to the students that choose the Morganton program, but also all the students that we're serving through distance education, because it feeds on that energy and those relationships and building those courses. When we build it for one program, we can scale that and extend it out to the rest of the state.
That's great. Todd, last questions for you. I mean, now, as a dad myself, I'm guessing, and I know from some of my daughter's friends, the fact that there's going to be a campus in the western part of the state, it may make it easier for some parents to, they don't want to see their babies 3 hours away or 4 hours away. That I think that's probably one of the reasons the General Assembly was thinking about it, was that to open this up for families in the western part of the state.
That's right. I mean, and we expect there'll be some students that might apply for that reason and others that haven't applied previously. But we really are hoping that students make that decision based, it may be partially on geography, but making that decision based on program as well, because one of the real values in talking to alumni of our institution is the geographic and other diversity that students from all over the state get to interact and grow together.
Well, great. Well, look, I appreciate you both coming on. I wish the school well. It's been great. And again, I encourage all of our parents and teachers watching to check it out and follow what's going on. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
So when we come back, we're going to introduce you to a brand new effort in the state, North Carolina Lab Schools.